Angela from the blog angelamariemade.com, and today I'm going to show you how to paint kitchen cabinets with just a paint roller and no fancy tools. As part of our $1,000 budget kitchen makeover, we have already updated our kitchen cabinets by enclosing the space above them and adding crown molding, as well as adding a DIY range hood cover over the stove. I will link both of the video tutorials for those projects below. The final kitchen cabinet update that I wanted to do was add a fresh coat of paint to the cabinets and add new knobs to them as well. Our kitchen cabinets are a really cheap laminate material, so I knew that adding a fresh coat of paint and new knobs would really give them a whole new look and change the feeling and look of our kitchen. We actually had these same cheap laminate cabinets in our master bathroom as part of our bathroom vanity, and I painted those a few years ago. The process I used for painting held up extremely well and it looked really great. So I knew that I could use the same process on our kitchen cabinets and it would turn out great and be really durable. The painting process I'm going to show you today doesn't involve any fancy tools like a paint sprayer, although you can use a paint sprayer and it does provide a really beautiful finish. You don't need it and you can still get a beautiful, flawless finish with a paint roller. The paint that I used for my kitchen cabinets and bathroom vanity is the Benjamin Moore Advanced Paint line. It's a really high quality paint, so you do pay a little bit more for it, but it's worth it because it cures to a really hard, durable finish that's easy to clean and withstands really busy, high traffic areas like the kitchen and bathroom. It's also self-leveling, so it provides that flawless look and it dries slow, so you also don't get any brush strokes in the finish. It's also a low VOC paint, which is always a good thing when you're painting. I think using the right high quality paint is the key to this project turning out great, in addition to doing the proper prep work. The prep work is no fun, but it makes all the difference with your finish turning out right and also with the finish lasting long term. And you really want your finish to last for kitchen cabinets because they're expensive to replace. I used two paint colors for our kitchen cabinets. I did White Dove by Benjamin Moore on the upper cabinets, and for the lower cabinets I did Mindful Gray by Sherwin-Williams, both of them in a satin sheen and both in the advanced paint line. Always wanted to do a two-tone paint color in a kitchen, and our current kitchen seemed like the perfect place to do it and provide a little bit of contrast with the different paint colors. The gray warms up the space while the white adds a fresh, clean look. Begin by removing the cabinet doors with a screwdriver. A drill can be used too, but just be careful to go slow so the screws don't get stripped. You can leave the hinges on the cabinet bases if they aren't in the way. We only had to remove the hinges where two cabinet doors opened up next to each other. For the drawers, we were originally going to remove the drawer faces, but then we realized they were nailed into the drawer boxes. So we just emptied the drawers and removed the full drawer from the drawer slides instead. Remove the cabinet knobs too. In order to keep the cabinet doors organized, you can add painter's tape on the back of them and label the location of each door. If you are going to be painting the back of the cabinets as well, you can put the tape labels inside of the door hinge hole. We decided not to paint our cabinet backs to save time and because half of them were being painted white and they were already white on the back. But if you do paint the back of your cabinets, make sure you paint them first and then paint the front of the cabinets last. For our painting workstation setup, we placed our cabinets on top of two 8-foot 2x2s, which were placed on top of a pair of sawhorses. Use a degreaser cleaner to clean the cabinet doors, drawer faces, and cabinet bases, or basically anywhere that's getting painted. We used a degreaser cleaner called Cred Cutter. After cleaning with a degreaser, wipe everything down with water and allow everything to dry. The next step is to lightly sand everything that's getting painted. Use a medium grit sandpaper. I used 150 grit, and really lightly hand sand the cabinet doors, drawer faces, and cabinet bases. It's really important to just lightly sand the surface, just enough to scuff the surface up so that the paint adheres better. But you don't want to sand too hard that you end up scratching the surface. Wipe the sand dust off with a damp cloth and allow everything to dry. Step 4 is to use painter's tape and tape off any areas that need to be protected from the paint, including the walls, floor, appliances, and the bottom and sides of the countertop. For priming and painting, we used a small paint roller for more control to make sure that you use a high quality shed-free microfiber roller. It makes a big difference in the finish. I don't use foam rollers for painting cabinets because they can leave a streaky finish. For priming, use a paintbrush to cut in and prime any corners, crevices, or areas that can't be reached with a paint roller. Then use a paint roller to apply the primer to the rest of the kitchen cabinets, drawer faces, and bases. Allow everything to dry. Make sure to not roll or brush the primer on too heavy to avoid drip marks. If there are any drip marks once the primer has dried, you can just lightly hand sand them off and wipe off the dust. Finally, after priming, it's time for paint. As I explained earlier, the paint we used was the Benjamin Moore Advanced line. Use a paintbrush again to cut in any corners, crevices, or areas that can't be reached with a paint roller. After cutting in, use a roller to apply the paint to the rest of the kitchen cabinets. The advanced paint line that I used requires a 16-hour dry time between coats. After 16 hours, you can apply a second coat of paint. One thing I want to mention is that the advanced paint does have an unpleasant smell while it dries, so you might want to leave a fan on in the room or open the windows while it dries. After applying the second coat, allow everything to dry and cure for at least 24 hours before handling. The last step is to add the cabinet doors back on the hinges and insert the drawers back into the drawer slides. Also, remove all the painter's tape at this point as well. I replaced my old cheap knobs with these cute new mushroom knobs in an oil rubbed bronze color. Since it can take paint up to 30 days to fully cure, take it easy on the cabinet, doors, and drawers until then. Otherwise, for the first couple of days after painting, keep the doors cracked so they don't stick to the kitchen cabinet bases while they are curing. I think our painted kitchen cabinets turned out great and they look like brand new cabinets. I'll be sharing a full look at them in the final kitchen makeover reveal next week, so stay tuned. You can get a link to the materials and knobs that I used below in the description box. Let me know if you have any questions below. Please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.